Let me say this clearly, seducing men is a game, but not the one you've been taught to play. It's not about chasing, proving, or trying to be perfect. In fact, the moment you try too hard, the game is already lost. The real trick, understanding what actually pulls a man in emotionally, quietly, deeply, and almost without effort. Most women believe attraction comes from availability, from being sweet, consistent, always there. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Men don't fall for what's always accessible. They fall for what makes them feel something: curiosity, anticipation, and a sense that there's more beneath the surface. Seduction starts the moment he realizes he wants to know you better and can't rush the process. Here's where the game flips. You don't seduce men by chasing their attention, you seduce them by creating space for them to step forward. When you slow down your responses, choose your words carefully, and stop explaining yourself, something powerful happens. He starts leaning in. He starts wondering. And that wondering is where attraction grows. This isn't about playing cold or pretending you don't care. It's about being warm without being predictable. Open, but not overexposed. Interested, but not invested too early. When you move like a woman who enjoys the moment rather than needs the outcome, men feel it instantly. It's magnetic. And here's the real trick most people never tell you: the strongest form of seduction is calm confidence. When you're relaxed in who you are, when you're not trying to win him over, you become the prize without announcing it. Stay with me, because once you understand this, men won't just be attracted to you. They'll feel drawn, intrigued, and emotionally hooked long before they even realize why. Here's the truth most women never hear explained properly. Mystery isn't about hiding who you are. It's about not giving access faster than connection deserves. Seduction begins when a man senses depth he hasn't fully explored yet. The moment he feels like he's already seen everything, the emotional tension disappears. And without tension, attraction fades. Many women confuse mystery with being distant or playing games. That's not it. Real mystery is warm, present, and engaging, but selective. It's choosing what to reveal and when. When you share your story slowly, when you don't rush to explain every emotion or intention, you create space for curiosity to grow. Men are naturally drawn to what unfolds over time. They don't want a summary, they want a journey. Availability, when given too early, sends an unintended signal: I'm already invested. An investment before emotional connection removes the challenge. Mystery, on the other hand, says, there's more here, but you earn it by staying present. That subtle difference completely changes how a man shows up. Instead of feeling comfortable too quickly, he feels intrigued. Instead of coasting, he leans in. This shows up in small moments. You don't immediately reply to everything, not to seem busy, but because you're actually living your life. You don't over-explain your feelings the second they appear. You allow pauses in conversation. Silence, when used calmly, is incredibly seductive. It gives him room to wonder what you're thinking, and men bond through that wondering. Mystery also means you don't make yourself emotionally predictable. If he expects you to always agree, always be available, always reassure, the spark dulls. But when you respond thoughtfully instead of automatically, when your reactions feel authentic rather than performative, you become memorable. Men don't crave perfection, they crave presence mixed with unpredictability. And here's the key part: most people miss. Mystery works best when it's paired with confidence. You're not withholding because you're afraid. You're pacing because you value yourself. When you don't rush to prove your worth, your energy communicates: I trust that I'm enough. That confidence is deeply attractive. It relaxes him while simultaneously pulling him closer. Think of mystery as emotional elegance. You don't overshare to bond. You let bonding happen naturally. You allow moments to breathe. You don't fill every gap with words or reassurance. And in those gaps of attraction grows quietly but powerfully. When a man feels that there's more to discover, Not in a stressful way, but in an exciting one. He invests emotionally. He pays attention. He remembers details. He starts imagining a future version of you in his life, and all of that happens not because you chased him, but because you gave him something rare, the space to desire. That's why mystery will always beat availability, because attraction isn't built on access, it's built on anticipation. One of the most powerful shifts you can make in attraction is this: stop trying to be picked and start moving like you're the one who chooses. Men don't respond to pressure, but they respond deeply to feeling selected. When a man feels chased, even subtly, his instinct is to pull back. When he feels chosen, something entirely different happens. He steps forward. Here's where many women unknowingly lose their power. They show interest by giving quick replies, constant validation, always adjusting their schedule, always being emotionally available. While this comes from a good place, it sends the message that his presence alone is enough to secure your investment. And when there's no effort required, there's no emotional growth. Making a man feel chosen doesn't mean acting uninterested. It means allowing him to earn emotional closeness. Instead of seeking reassurance, "Do you like me?" or "Where is this going?" you shift the energy. You observe. You listen. You respond based on how he shows up. This naturally places you in a position of quiet authority. You're not auditioning, you're evaluating. This shows up beautifully in conversation. Rather than trying to impress him with stories or accomplishments, you ask intentional questions. You let him speak. You notice how he treats people, how he handles disagreement, how consistent his actions are. And when something genuinely resonates with you, you acknowledge it calmly. A simple, "I like that about you," lands far more powerfully than any attempt to win his approval. Men bond through feeling appreciated for who they are, not for the attention they receive. When your interest is selective, your validation becomes meaningful. He doesn't feel chased, he feels seen, and being seen is addictive. Another key piece is emotional pacing. When you match his level of investment instead of exceeding it, you create balance. If he opens up a little, you meet him there, not miles ahead. If he takes initiative, you respond warmly, but you don't immediately overcommit. This mirroring makes him feel safe to step forward again. Attraction grows in rhythm, not rush. There's also something incredibly seductive about a woman who doesn't fear walking away. Not in a dramatic way, but in a grounded, self-respecting way. When your life feels full, when your happiness doesn't hinge on his attention, he feels it. And paradoxically, that freedom makes him want to invest more, because now connection with you feels like a choice, not an obligation. When a man feels chosen, he doesn't question your interest, he values it. He becomes more attentive, more consistent, more emotionally present. Not because you pushed him there, but because you created an environment where stepping up felt natural. So remember this: chasing asks for attention, choosing inspires investment, and when you shift into the energy of choice, seduction stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like alignment. Most people believe seduction starts with physical attraction, but that's only the door. What keeps a man inside is emotional stimulation. The kind that makes him think about you when you're not there. The kind that lingers long after the conversation ends. If you want to create real pull, you have to understand this: men may notice you with their eyes, but they attach with their emotions. Physical signals are obvious. Anyone can flirt. Anyone can look attractive. But emotional stimulation is rare, and because it's rare, it's unforgettable. It's created through moments of connection that feel personal, playful, and slightly unpredictable. When you stimulate a man emotionally, you stop being just another option. You become an experience. This begins with presence. When you're fully engaged, listening, responding thoughtfully, reacting genuinely, he feels it instantly. Men are incredibly sensitive to emotional attention, even if they don't talk about it. When you remember something he said days ago, when you reference a detail he thought you'd forgotten, you send a powerful signal you matter here. That alone builds attraction faster than any physical cue. Playfulness is another key layer. Light teasing, shared humor, inside jokes, these create intimacy without pressure. Playfulness says, being with me feels easy, and ease is seductive. When a man laughs with you, when he feels relaxed enough to be himself, emotional bonding happens naturally. It doesn't feel heavy, it feels addictive. Then there's vulnerability, but used wisely. You don't trauma dump or overshare early. Instead, you reveal pieces of yourself gradually, a thoughtful insight, a meaningful value, a quiet truth about what matters to you. This invites him to open up in return. Emotional seduction is a dance of mutual revealing, not a monologue. Here's something most women underestimate: how powerful it is to let a man feel understood. When you reflect his emotions, that sounds like it really mattered to you. You create a safe emotional space. And when a man feels emotionally safe, he connects deeply. Attraction grows not from impressing him, but from resonating with him. And this is where many women accidentally sabotage themselves by rushing the physical before the emotional has time to root. Physical attraction without emotional stimulation fades quickly. But emotional stimulation naturally leads to deeper desire. It creates anticipation. It builds tension. It makes him want to move closer emotionally and physically at his own pace. Now let me ask you something, and this is important. Have you ever noticed that the men who feel the hardest to forget weren't necessarily the most attractive, but the ones who made you feel something? If that's true for you, it's true for men too. Comment below. What makes you feel emotionally connected to someone? Deep conversations, laughter, or feeling understood? When you master emotional stimulation, seduction stops being about trying and starts being about connection. And that's the kind of attraction that doesn't fade. One of the most misunderstood ideas about seduction is confidence. Many people think confidence means being bold, dominant, or constantly asserting yourself. But real confidence, the kind that quietly pulls people toward you, is calm. It doesn't rush, it doesn't over-explain, and it never needs to announce itself. This kind of confidence is deeply seductive because it makes a man feel both intrigued and at ease at the same time. Calm confidence begins with comfort in your own presence. When you're relaxed in who you are, your body language softens, your voice slows, and your reactions become intentional instead of impulsive. You're not trying to impress, you're simply being. Men pick up on this immediately. It signals emotional stability, self-respect, and depth. And those qualities create trust, which is essential for attraction to grow. A loud energy often comes from insecurity, even when it's masked as confidence. Talking too much, filling every silence, constantly seeking validation. These behaviors don't make you more attractive, they make you predictable. Calm confidence, on the other hand, is comfortable with space. You don't feel the need to respond instantly or explain yourself endlessly. You trust that your presence is enough. This shows up strongly in communication. When you speak, you're clear but not defensive. When something bothers you, you express it without drama. When you like someone, you allow that feeling to exist without clinging to it. This emotional steadiness is incredibly grounding for a man. It makes him feel safe to open up, to lead, and to invest. Calm confidence also means you don't compete for attention. You don't compare yourself to other women. You don't feel threatened by his independence or friendships. Instead, you stay rooted in your own value of. This independence is magnetic because it removes pressure from the connection. When a man doesn't feel like he has to constantly reassure you, he naturally wants to show up more. Another powerful aspect of calm confidence is how you handle uncertainty. You don't panic when things are undefined. You allow the connection to unfold without forcing labels or timelines too early. This doesn't mean you have no standards. It means you trust yourself enough to walk away if your needs aren't met. That quiet self-trust is seductive because it shows strength without aggression. Think of calm confidence as emotional elegance. You move slowly, speak intentionally, and respond rather than react. You don't chase attention, you attract it by being centered. And when a man feels that centered energy, he instinctively leans in because calm feels rare in a world full of noise. In seduction, calm confidence is what turns attraction into admiration. It's what makes a man respect you, not just desire you. And when respect and desire exist together, the connection becomes powerful, lasting, and deeply magnetic. This is the point where seduction stops feeling like strategy and starts feeling effortless. Detachment from outcome doesn't mean you don't care, it means you're no longer emotionally gripping the result. And that shift alone can completely transform how men respond to you. Because the moment you stop trying to control where things are going, you become far more attractive. Most women don't realize how clearly men can feel neediness, even when it's subtle. It shows up in overthinking texts, reading into every pause, or silently hoping he'll act a certain way. That inner tension creates pressure, and pressure kills attraction. Detachment releases that pressure. It replaces anxiety with ease, and ease is seductive. Detachment starts with trusting yourself. You trust that if something is right, it will unfold naturally. And if it doesn't, you'll be okay. This mindset changes everything about your energy. You stop monitoring his behavior for reassurance and start focusing on how you feel in the connection. Instead of asking, "Does he like me?" you begin asking, "Do I like how this feels?" That shift quietly puts you back in your power. When you're detached from outcome, you become present. You enjoy conversations for what they are, not for what they might lead to. You flirt because it's fun, not because you're trying to secure something. And paradoxically, this makes men more invested because now they feel like they're choosing you, not being pushed toward a decision. Detachment also allows you to respond instead of react. If he takes longer to reply, you don't spiral. If plans change, you stay grounded. This emotional steadiness is incredibly attractive because it signals maturity and self-respect. Men feel relaxed around women who don't make every moment feel high stakes. Another powerful effect of detachment is that it naturally raises your standards. When you're not afraid of losing someone, you pay closer attention to consistency, effort, and values. You stop excusing behavior that doesn't align with what you want. And when a man senses that you won't settle, he either steps up or steps out. Either way, you win. Detachment doesn't mean emotional walls. It means emotional freedom. You allow yourself to feel attraction, excitement, and desire, but you don't let those feelings control your behavior. You remain grounded in your own life, your goals, your happiness. And that independence is deeply magnetic. In the end, this is the real trick. Not manipulation, not tactics, but inner security. When you're okay with any outcome, you stop chasing love and start attracting it. And that's when seduction becomes natural, confident, and incredibly powerful. So let's bring this all together, because seduction isn't about tricks, lines, or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about how you show up. When you understand that mystery is more powerful than constant availability, you stop giving access too fast and start letting attraction build naturally. When you shift from chasing to choosing, men don't feel pressure, they feel special. When you stimulate emotions instead of relying on surface-level signals, you become unforgettable. When your confidence is calm instead of loud, you create safety, depth, and respect. And when you detach from the outcome, you release the very tension that blocks real connection. None of this requires effort or performance. It requires awareness. Seduction works best when it feels effortless, because it's rooted in self-respect, presence, and emotional intelligence. The moment you stop trying to win someone, you give them the freedom to want you. And that freedom is where desire grows of. If you've ever felt like you were doing everything right, but still not getting the response you wanted, this is why. Attraction isn't about giving more, it's about giving better. It's about pacing, energy, and knowing when to lean back and let things come to you. When you embody that, men don't just notice you, they invest. Now I want to hear from you, because this conversation doesn't end here. A comment below. Which point hit you the hardest? Mystery. Choosing instead of chasing. Emotional connection. Calm confidence. Or detachment from outcome. And if this video helped you see attraction in a new way, do yourself a favor, like this video so more women can find it. Subscribe if you want deeper insights into confidence, attraction, and emotional power that actually work in real life. And share this with a friend who's tired of trying too hard and getting too little in return. Remember this, you don't need to change who you are to be desired. You just need to stop giving your power away. When you do, attraction stops being a struggle and starts feeling natural, exciting, and deeply fulfilling.